Paul, hi. Thank you so much for your time. You have been in the restoration for how many years now?
10 years.
Okay, so a long time. As you were working on site before back in time, do you remember what pain points you had?
When I started in the industry about 10, 11 years ago, yeah, it was digital cameras. It was hours spent taking the digital camera, uploading it in, trying to organize it, then loading it into a system, then noting it all. Then you had paper dry logs, paper time cards. I spent 90% of my time in the office just trying to figure out what's going on and where, and then trying to get it into a system that worked. So I'm a little biased because I wasn't around when magicplan or even DocuSketch or Matterport or any of the 3D cameras around. So everything relied on me standing with the digital camera, hoping the batteries work, trying to get photos of it all, to the evolution of the iPhones coming in, and then now the more softwares, but also, not only capturing job sites, but then going back and estimating.
Okay.
So even digital tape measures, I still think are like one of the greatest things ever, because I'm not having to take an actual tape measure out. The FatMax is coming out to get to those. Just a digital tape measure to get simple dimensions was mind-blowing then. Kind of aging myself going about that, but yeah, just the ability to simply go in and, take that instant scan, get the dimensions, know my cubic footage. It's absolutely game-changing.
Okay, so let's say that there was a general lack of technology some years ago. Now you work with Clean Claims. Would you like to tell us something more about the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So Clean Claims is going to be your boots on the ground field documentation and then remote monitoring. So it's going to be, how do we give a simple system that's designed for your technicians to show what are our moisture points, get our photos, get our readings, get a document signed, and then with our remote monitoring, how can we now use technology to get those live readings, be able to get them consistently so that when a carrier is saying, oh, you missed readings for Tuesday, we're not going to pay for the day. Well, now it's collecting those readings every 10 minutes. So now we actually have the data to go with it. And then our amazing integration with magicplan to now have that ability to get those instant sketches, get all that it's really a 1-2 punch for your field technicians, your estimators, your project managers, having everything right in your back pocket to now have all that info that you can see live to where your team back in the office can know what's our drying condition, what's going on, did we get a contract signed, what are our next steps, how do we improve communication to really speed up the time to get paid, have all the documents you need, everything's time-stamped, geolocated. We're not paying for after-hour charges. Well, everything shows this happened after hours. The carriers aren't looking to fight documentation. They fight opinions. So how do we give them everything we need to close the file? And then, with our integration into our system, we're super proud of it because it's not log into another app, it pulls you back and forth so you can get all that info. We're just trying to make it easier for everyone.
Okay, so I think that I don't have to ask you what pain points solve this cooperation between magicplan and Clean Claims because you were super clear. Maybe, in your opinion, is there something that can be still improved, or are there pain points that you see that can be improved in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the kind of evolution of LiDAR and, with some of the new features you guys have coming out, being able to help just get that information that you need on the front end so that your team's not spending all this time on the back end. So I'm super excited to be able to just streamline all this, get what you need in the field, get it to your estimator, get it to your project manager, get it to the carrier, be done and move on to the next job. So as everything keeps advancing, I think the time in between, it's going to be less windshield time, more, hey, this technician can actually do more than just rip out drywall. We can actually capture this, or our estimating team has better data point. All this is just going into efficiency. So how do we get better on the job? When we are using the remote monitoring, instead of us going out and taking 2 hours to find all this stuff, now it's a 15-minute trip because we know where our moisture points are. We know what our readings are. Now I'm just checking equipment, talking to the homeowner, and then we're on to the next job. So I think, especially with AI and some of the things both our companies are working on, just the streamline efficiency, it's just going to take away a lot of those hours that are kind of wasted in the day. So really, it's better data, better accuracy, getting paid faster, but also less strain on your technician. We're terrible in this industry with this thing called work-life balance, but maybe give a little bit normalcy, get people home before 6 o'clock at night.
Okay, maybe, Paul, I have one last question because I've seen during these days that we still have people using pen and paper to draw the sketches. Is there something or just a friendly suggestion that you would give them or a tip?
I will admit, I'm still notorious for liking to pull out my digital tape measure and sketch, but since, our integration with you guys, I am now gone away from that. I think there's a lot of really good tools. The LiDAR is phenomenal, but even just your standard tool to be able to go out and just get simple measurements and dimensions. Yeah, I'm very optimistic to where this industry is going to be 12 months from now. I see a lot of things advancing, your guys' new integration with the different digital tape measures, things of that nature. But also, if you're overwhelmed by all the technology, we can make it simple. Just take photos. Here's a great way to do it. You want just readings? Here's a great way to do it. We can find a solution that fits what you need. It's not, here's what the box says, I have to do it this way.
Goodbye.
Everything's customizable now. We can fit it for your business and just make life easier.
Paul, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you much.